Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Titok. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by, and if you are new here, you're welcome. Kindly please hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to go about the cutting and sewing of a unisex vintage shirt. So if there's something you're interested in, keep on watching and let's get started. So guys, I have this fabric here. I think it's about one trouser and some inches, and I'm actually making this for a male. Now I'm going to keep this aside and draft out my pattern. And the first thing you're going to go ahead and do is to mark 2.5 inches all the way down for the buttonhole in the front of the shirt. So I marked 2.5 inches for mine. You can totally use 3 inches if you want to. So I'll go ahead and fold in my buttonhole. I'm going to fold it in. Just go ahead and do the same thing you see me doing right now. So all our measurements is going to start from this folded edge here. I'll fold in the button allowance and I've gone ahead to rule a starting line, which is going to serve as the shoulder line. Now I'll start taking all my vertical measurements. So I'm going to measure down to my waistline and then the full length of my shirt. So my shoulder to waist is 16 inches and then the length of my top is 27 inches. After marking it, I'll go ahead and rule a line across all the points. From the shoulder line, I'm going to mark 3 inches for the neck depth and 2.5 inches for the neck width. So I marked 3 inches for the neck depth and 2.5 inches for the neck width. Normally, if you're making a shirt, you don't have to have this big round neckline. Your neckline must have this fitted look. Do you get it? After marking it, I'll go ahead and connect it together with my cover. On the shoulder line again, I'm going to mark half of my shoulder measurement, and that's 10 inches. After marking it, from that point, I'm going to come down by 2 inches for the shoulder slope. So mark half of your shoulder measurement on the starting line, and from that point, mark 2 inches for the shoulder slant. After marking it, I'll connect from this 2 inches point into the neckline. Next, from the shoulder line, I'll measure down to my bust point, and that's 11 inches. So I'll rule a line across and then label all those lines. Now from the bust line, I'm going to go up by 1.5 inches and make a point, and that's going to be our chest line. From that point, I'll connect a straight line to meet the shoulder slope and then connect it towards the side. Just go ahead and do the same thing you see me doing right now. I'll take the measurements I have in between here and get the midpoint. From the midpoint, I'm going to go in by half an inch, that's 0.5 inches. On the chest line, I'm going to divide my round bust measurement divided by 4 and made a mark. After marking it, I'll go ahead and connect it together with my cover. After creating the armhole cup, the next thing is to start taking all the body measurements. So I'll come to the chest line and divide my round bust measurement divided by 4. I'll mark the same thing on the waistline and on the hemline. So if your hip measurement is bigger than your bust measurement, I would advise you to take your round bust measurement on the bust line, your round waist measurement on the waistline, and then your round hip measurement on the hemline. After marking it, you go ahead and connect it together with your straight rule. But what I did here, I marked my round bust measurement all the way to the end. From the hemline, I'm going to go up by 1 inches, and then I will use my curve rule to make a curve towards the hemline. After doing that, I'll go ahead and cut out my front pattern. To draft the back pattern, I'll go ahead and place the front piece on a new pattern paper. So make sure the paper is long enough, at least maybe 5 inches longer than the front. And the back is not going to have any zipper allowance or any allowance. So I'll go ahead and place the front piece exactly on the center, and then I will trace out the shoulder line. After tracing out the shoulder line, you're going to drag your front pattern downward, because the back pattern is going to overlap the front. So the back pattern must be longer than the front pattern. I will explain this much better later. Now I'll mark 3 inches upward on the shoulder line. So from the shoulder line, I'll mark 3 inches. Just go ahead and do the same thing you see me doing right now. After marking it, I'll go ahead and rule this out, making sure the front pattern is exactly on that line. This is what I had after I was done doing that. From the shoulder line, I came down by 3 inches and then I rule a line across. So I'll place the front pattern exactly on that line and then pin it down. Now fold in the back pattern on top of the front pattern, just the way you see me doing. So go ahead and fold the back pattern into 2, making sure it will be lapping on the front. After doing that, I'll use my marker to trace out the neckline from the front with my free hand towards the back. Now I'll go ahead and trace out the armhole and cut everything just like you see me doing. So if you want to cut the neck area, you're going to cut the front and the back separately. So this is basically all for the pattern drafting for both the front and the back. The back is actually longer than the front, as you can see. Now we're going to move ahead to draft out the sleeve. To draft the sleeve, of course, you need a new pattern paper and then you go ahead and rule a starting line. So from the starting line, you're going to mark the length of your sleeve and then rule a line across. Next, I'll take the measurement I have on the armhole, and after marking it, I have 10 inches for mine. So you're going to mark your round armhole measurement divided by 2 plus extra 1 inch sewing allowance. From that point, I'll come down by 5 inches and make a mark. After marking it, I will make a curve from the starting line towards the 5 inches point. You can go in by 4 inches on the starting line and then make a curve towards the 5 inches point. On the sleeve length, take your round sleeve measurement divided by 2 plus extra 2 inches sewing allowance. Then you come to the armhole area and remeasure the armhole plus extra 1.5 inches sewing allowance. Then you connect it, and that's all. Now go ahead and cut out my pattern on my actual fabric. So I'll open the buttonhole and then go ahead and cut it out. I've gone ahead to cut it out and it's in a fold. So this is my front piece. I added half an inch stitching allowance to the neck area and the shoulder. I didn't add any stitching allowance to the armhole area. I added 1.5 inches to the side as my sewing allowance. At the hemline, I added 0.5 inches. And as you can see, I have 2 pieces for the front. For the back piece, I'm going to do the same thing. Add half an inch to the neck area, to the shoulder. I didn't add any stitching allowance to the armhole area. Add 1.5 inches to the side. And at the hemline, add 0.75. So the center of the back pattern is not going to have any cuts. For the sleeve, I added half an inch to the upper part, and at the end, I added 1 inch as my sewing allowance. I didn't add any stitching allowance to the side. After you're done doing that, now let's go ahead and start joining all the pieces together. Now go ahead and open the back piece and place the front piece on its right side facing each other, and then I'll use my pin to just hold the shoulders in place. After pinning it down, I'll head over to the sewing machine and stitch down the shoulder with about half an inch. And this is what I had after I was done doing that. So this is what I mean when I said the back is going to overlap the front. Now I'm going to come to the front piece of the buttonhole. I'm going to fold it in a little bit by 0.5 inch, then fold it again by 1 inches. Fold it in a little bit by half an inch, then you fold it again by 1 inches, and then you head over to the sewing machine and stitch it all the way down. I'll do the same thing for the other side. You can go ahead to iron it out if you don't want to make a mistake. So this is what I had after I was done doing that. This is the two sides. And what I'm going to do now is to measure around the neck to cut out the collar. Next, I'll bring a new pattern paper and use the measurements I got around the neckline and divide it by 2. So what I got there is 18 inches. 18 divided by 2 will give me 9 inches. So I marked that. From that point, I'm going to go up by 0.5 inches and made a mark. Then I'll take the measurement I have in between here and get the middle. So what I have here is 9 inches. 9 inches divided by 2 will give me 4.5 inches. So I'll connect from that 0.5 inches towards the middle. So from that 0.5 inch point, I'm going to go up by 1 inch all the way around and connect it. From that line, I'm going to mark 2.5 inches here, and at the center, I'm going to mark 2 inches. After marking it, go ahead and connect it just like you see me doing. On the middle line, I'm going to go in by 1 inch and create a curve as shown. And from that point, I'm going to rule a slant line to that 2.5 inches mark. So now I'm going to place my collar on the paper stay and I'm going to cut it out without adding any sewing allowance. I've gone ahead to cut out my actual fabric using the paper stay. I added half an inch stitching allowance all the way around. So you're going to cut 2 pieces of the actual fabric. Now pick one piece of it and place the shiny face of my paper stay exactly on the wrong side of my collar. So pick one of the collar, place the shiny face of the paper stay on it, and then you go ahead and iron it out. So after I was done doing that, this is what I had. So I'm going to place them right side facing each other and stitch it all the way around with about half an inch, and then I'm going to go ahead and iron it out. Next, I'm going to bring my fabric and get the middle of the neckline, and I'm going to get the middle of the collar as well. Next, I'll place one side of the collar, that's the place that has the paper stay, exactly on the midpoint, and I'm going to pin it down. After pinning it down, I'll head over to the sewing machine and stitch it all the way around with about half an inch. Now I'll fold in the second part of the collar by 0.5 inch just for us to cover the stitching we have on the first part of the collar. And I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and stitch it all the way to the end. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do now is to attach our sleeves, and I've gone ahead to hem the end of my sleeve. Now I'm going to arrange my shirt together just for me to get the middle of the armhole, and I'm going to get the middle of the sleeve too. After doing that, I'll place the sleeve on the middle of the fabric and pin it down. Then I'll go ahead and stitch it all the way around. I'll do the same thing for the other side as well. After attaching the sleeves on the both sides, I'm going to arrange all my fabric and stitch down the side with the 1.5 inches sewing allowance I added when I was cutting it out. And then I'm going to hem the end of my shirt too. The last thing to do is to create the buttonhole and attach the button to the shirt, and that's all for this tutorial. This vintage shirt actually came out nice and I really love it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any question or you have a requested tutorial you want me to work on, let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.